Ever wondered what would happen if you glued your clothes and shoes to your body? It might sound like a bizarre experiment, but trust me, the consequences are no joke. We're talking potential for serious discomfort, health risks, and even long-term damage. So buckle up, because in this video we're diving deep into the wild world of what happens when fabric becomes permanently attached to your skin. Get ready to have your mind blown. All right, let's get down to the sticky business. First up, we've got super glue cyanoacrylate that bonds instantly, which might seem fun until it's bonding your skin to your pants. Then there's epoxy resin, a two-part beast that sets hard as a rock. Definitely not something you want near your delicate skin. And rubber cement, flexible but irritating to your skin. Industrial adhesives can hold a rocket together, but they come with serious chemical burns and toxicity. Now, no matter what kind of glue you're dealing with, your skin is not going to be happy about being turned into a human glue trap. We're talking about irritation city, redness, itching, burning sensations, you name it. And for some unlucky folks, even a little exposure to certain adhesives can trigger a full-blown allergic reaction. We're talking hives, swelling, even difficulty breathing in severe cases. Remember those industrial adhesives we talked about? Yeah, those can cause some seriously gnarly chemical burns that could land you in the ER faster than you can say cyanoacrylate. Okay, so you've glued your clothes to your body. Congratulations, you're now a human statue. Seriously though, restricting your movement like that is not only uncomfortable, it's a recipe for disaster. Imagine trying to walk with your arms glued to your sides, or even worse, your legs stuck together. Talk about a faceplant waiting to happen. And good luck maintaining your balance with your clothes acting like a straitjacket. It's like trying to walk on a tightrope, blindfolded, while juggling chainsaws. Not a good look in saws. Now, let's talk about your skin's job. It's your body's personal bodyguard, regulating your temperature, protecting you from the elements, and even getting rid of waste through sweat. But slap some glue on there, and your skin's like, dude, I can't breathe. Temperature regulation, out the window, barrier protection gone, and excretion, well, let's just say things are going to get pretty funky under there. Trapped sweat and bacteria are a recipe for disaster, my friends. We're talking potential for some seriously nasty skin infections. All right, let's not sugarcoat it. Gluing your clothes to your body is going to hurt. Remember that super glue we talked about? Yeah, that stuff can cause some serious burning sensations upon contact, especially on sensitive skin. And if you're dealing with a larger surface area, we're talking about some next level pain. Imagine ripping a giant band-aid off your entire body. Not exactly a walk in the park, right? And that's just the beginning. The longer that glue sits on your skin, the worse the irritation and potential for damage becomes. Okay, time for a quick anatomy lesson. Your blood needs to flow freely to keep everything functioning. Gluing clothes to your skin creates a tourniquet, restricting blood flow. This can cause numbness, swelling, and even blood clots. Blood clots can lead to serious complications. Not cool, glue, not cool. All right, let's talk about the grand finale of this glutastrophe, the removal process. Because let's be real, you can't stay glued to your clothes forever. Getting that glue off is going to be a nightmare, and it's probably going to leave your skin worse for wear. We're talking about potential for blisters, chemical burns, and even tearing of the skin. Okay, remember how we talked about your skin's job of getting rid of waste through sweat? Well, when you glue your clothes to your body, you're basically creating the perfect breeding ground for bacteria and fungi. It's like a sweaty, sticky sauna party under there, and you're the main course. We're talking about potential for fungal infections like ringworm and athlete's foot, bacterial infections that can cause redness, swelling, and even pus-filled sores. And if those infections get into your bloodstream, well, things can get serious really quickly. All right, let's not forget about the mental and emotional toll this whole glue ordeal can take. Imagine the frustration of not being able to move freely, the anxiety of potential health complications, and the sheer embarrassment of being, well, glued to your clothes. It's enough to make anyone crack. And if this whole thing was the result of a prank gone wrong, the psychological impact can be even worse, leading to feelings of betrayal, anger, and even PTSD in some cases. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. hygiene. When you're glued to your clothes, showering becomes a distant dream. And even if you manage to get partially clean, good luck reaching those hard-to-reach places. We're talking about a recipe for body odor, acne breakouts, and a whole host of other skin problems. And if you have any pre-existing skin conditions, like eczema or psoriasis, well, let's just say this whole glue situation is going to make them a whole lot worse. Okay, so you've managed to survive the initial glutastrophe and get the stuff off your skin, you're home free, right? Well, not so fast. If you've experienced prolonged restriction of blood flow or nerve compression, you could be looking at some long-term consequences. We're talking about peripheral neuropathy, a condition that causes numbness, tingling, and pain in your extremities. And if the compression was severe enough, you could even develop compartment syndrome, a serious condition that requires emergency surgery to relieve the pressure on your muscles and nerves. All right, let's talk about another potential danger of being glued to your clothes: heat stroke. Remember how we talked about your skin's role in regulating your body temperature? Well, when you're covered in glue, your sweat glands can't do their job properly, which means your body can overheat dangerously fast. We're talking about symptoms like dizziness, nausea, confusion, and even loss of consciousness. And if left untreated, heat stroke can lead to organ damage and even death. So yeah, definitely not something to mess around with. Okay, let's talk about another potential risk of this whole glue fiasco: infections. Remember how we talked about how trapped sweat and bacteria can lead to skin infections? Well, those infections can quickly turn serious if they get into your bloodstream, especially if you have any open cuts or sores. We're talking about conditions like cellulitis, a painful skin infection that can spread rapidly, and sepsis, a life-threatening condition that occurs when your body's response to infection spirals out of control. All right, let's talk about the long-term impact on your skin, because even after you've removed the glue and treated any infections, you could be left with some unwelcome souvenirs. We're talking about scarring, pigmentation changes, and even chronic skin conditions like dermatitis. And if you used a particularly harsh adhesive or had a severe reaction, those skin changes could be permanent. So yeah, definitely not the kind of body art you want to be rocking. Okay, let's talk about another unexpected side effect of being glued to your clothes: muscle atrophy. Because when you're stuck in one position for an extended period of time, your muscles aren't getting the workout they need to stay strong and healthy. We're talking about muscle weakness, joint stiffness, and even changes in your posture. And if you're immobilized for a really long time, those muscle changes can become permanent, making it difficult to regain your full range of motion. All right, let's talk about the silent killer toxicity, because many adhesives contain chemicals that can be harmful to your health, especially with prolonged or repeated exposure. We're talking about respiratory problems, organ damage, and even an increased risk of cancer. And some adhesives, like those containing solvents, can release harmful vapors that can cause dizziness, headaches, and even loss of consciousness. So yeah, definitely not something you want to be huffing on a regular basis. All right, let's talk about the long-term psychological impact of this whole glue ordeal. Because even after you've physically recovered, you might still be dealing with the emotional fallout. But we're talking about body image issues, social anxiety, and even PTSD in some cases. And if you were the victim of a prank, you might also be struggling with feelings of betrayal, anger, and a lack of trust in others. All right, so you've survived the glutastrophe. Now what? Well, the road to recovery is going to depend on the severity of your situation. For minor cases, you might be able to remove the glue at home with some warm water, soap, and a whole lot of patience. But for more serious cases, you're probably going to need professional help. We're talking about solvent application, surgical debridement, that means removing dead or damaged tissue, physical therapy, and even psychological counseling. Gluing clothes and shoes to your body is not just an extreme prank, it can lead to severe physiological and psychological issues. We're talking about everything from skin irritation and infections to circulatory problems and even long-term health risks. And let's not forget about the mental and emotional toll this whole ordeal can take. So, the next time you see someone reaching for the superglue with a mischievous glint in their eye, do yourself and them a favor and step away from the sticky situation.